date the resident card is granted.
Shin was unexpectedly detained by ICE in Colorado last year while he was on a business trip. He spent 17 days in custody before a judge allowed him to post bond and go home. Our top national story from ABC News. Indirect talks are, according to Pakistan and the White House, being held between Iran and the U.S.
Pakistan is now this mediator going back and forth for indirect talks because Iran, of course, continues to insist there are no negotiations right now with the United States. Iran, though, has rejected that plan and pushed back with its own proposals, saying that there needs to be an end right now to the attacks and also calling for repayments, reparations for the damages they've been inflicted over the course of the last 4 weeks.
That is ABC's Karen Travers at the White House. Other national stories KSL is following. Thousands of airport security officers who have gone without paychecks for weeks now have some hope. President Trump has promised to sign an executive order to release money to the Transportation Security Administration. And overnight, the Senate approved its own funding measure, but lines at airports still feeling the strain.
This is Jim Ryan. As TSA agents wait to get paid, airline passengers wait in line to get through security. The old advice about arriving at the airport early works to a degree.
I've seen it on social media, how bad it was, and I thought that was kind of being blown out of proportion.
Leah Redfern made it to New York's LaGuardia Airport at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Now that I've seen it, it's pretty bad.
TSA agents are getting help from fellow Homeland Security employees from ICE. Those officers are getting paid because they're considered essential personnel. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And we have just learned that President Trump has just signed that executive order to make sure that the TSA workers are getting paid. Some of those paychecks could be seen as soon as Monday. Taking a look at your money at this moment, boy, I don't want to look. The Dow is down by 756 points. It sits right now at 45,203. S&P down by 103 points, and the NASDAQ down more than 2%, down 449 points. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Do we have Ricky Meese in traffic?
We do, and we just had the crash cleared. The only remaining one on the Valley Freeway, southbound I-15 in Bluffdale, prior to the point of the mountain. We do have some backups north and southbound Mountain View corridor at 3500 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We are headed for a high today of 68 degrees. Warmer for the weekend. We're looking at highs in the upper 70s. Then on Monday, the temperatures start to decline, and by Tuesday, a good chance of showers. Right now, 57 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Any Hour Services free furnace sale is going on right now. If you haven't scheduled your free estimate yet, do it now. Call Any Hour Services today or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
I was hearing that was going to be long, but when we came in, it wasn't long at all. But now it's massive. We're cooked. We're not making this flight.
It is insane. I'm at the end of the line. It's a little crazy, but it's okay. It's moving quick. We'll be fine.
Oh, it's brutal out here. Got here 2 hours early, but I think we're going to make it.
Spring break flyers facing long lines at the Salt Lake City International Airport today. While security lines at our airports have largely remained normal during the partial government shutdown, a surge of passengers hoping to hit the skies for spring break getaway, forcing delays most of today. Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Airport spokesperson Nancy Vollmer tells KSL a big reason for the delays comes from people who came early to try and avoid any potential delays. But in the end, it kind of basically contributed to it. With many schools going on spring break next week, it's a good reminder that if you are heading out, whether on a plane or on the roads, you're bound to face a bit of delay. In about 10 minutes, we'll get the latest on road and highway conditions, what you need to know before hitting the road for your spring break adventures. But let's start first in the air. Delays continue at airports around the country, thanks mostly to the lapse in TSA funding. In Utah, travelers showing up early to the airport this morning faced longer than average lines, many of them telling KSL they were worried about their flights.
We're going back to Tampa, Florida, although I don't want to go yet.
Did you show up early thinking the lines? A couple of hours?
Definitely. I retired from the airlines.
So you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's the TSA folks not getting paid. I mean, what do you think?
You know what? I wish I had $100 to give every one of them as a tip. I really do. These poor guys, they should get double pay. Let this be noted, they should get double pay when they get the retroactive.
Others saying while they were surprised by longer lines, they felt things were still moving pretty quickly.
The line? Well, this one's moving pretty fast.
No, I figured this is about what it would be. So you know.
The website tells you it's 32 minutes, something like that, so it's
not bad.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
When you see it, you're like, damn, but they're doing a pretty good job, I think, of getting people through.
I think it's actually moving pretty quickly. We started like way over there, but we've been here for, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe? So nothing too crazy.
It's all right.
Yeah.
At one point this morning, airport officials said the wait for security was about 90 minutes long. But how are the lines looking right now? KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is live at the airport. And Eric, are there still long lines this hour?
Maria, first of all, spring break is definitely here. You can feel it the second you walk into the main terminal. And it definitely hasn't been quiet at all over the past hour. There's been a constant flow of travelers rolling bags through here, families getting checked in and lines at TSA. But the big difference compared to this morning is the general screening line right now is staying contained inside the checkpoint, hasn't stretched back past the entrance like we saw earlier. I just checked in with a TSA agent here on scene right now. You're looking at about 15 to 20 minute wait for general screening and closer to 10 minutes if you got pre-check or clear. So things are moving, but like I said, it is consistently busy. And with many Utah schools heading into spring break right now and over the next couple of weeks, you can expect those waves of travelers to keep coming throughout the day. Bottom line, still give yourself that extra time because while it's smoother than earlier, this rush definitely isn't going anywhere. And I'm going to be out here all afternoon, keeping an eye on it and updating listeners heading out. Live at Salt Lake International, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
And again, that is KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera joining me live from Salt Lake City International Airport. Overnight, a little glimmer of hope. The Senate passing a bill that would fund the TSA without funding ICE or U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And just a few minutes ago, we learned that the president signed an executive order to pay TSA workers, many of whom could see their first paycheck in more than 40 days as soon as Monday. But the Senate-backed bill now failing in the House. Speaker Mike Johnson spoke just a short time ago about his issues with the current proposal, saying immigration needs to be funded too.
It is a basic function of the government. The Democrats fundamentally disagree. The Senate Democrats have hoisted upon this appropriations process Their radical, crazy agenda, we call it crazy because that's what it is. They want to reopen the borders, and they want to stop the deportation of dangerous, criminal, illegal aliens. We have to do these basic functions of government. We have to fund them in order to do them.
The Speaker says the House GOP will put a continuing resolution on the floor, which would fund DHS until later in May.
We're not playing political games on this. We encourage some of our Democrats, hopefully we'll have some of our Democrats in the House who go along with this and stop the pain that's being forced upon these people. The reason that we can't accept this ridiculousness, okay, is because we're not going to risk not funding the agencies that keep the American people safe. The Department of Homeland Security is the third largest department in the federal government. It has 10 agencies beneath it. It's not just TSA, it's also FEMA, the Coast Guard, all these agencies that keep us safe. We must fund them. This is not a game. Republicans will do the responsible and honorable thing, and Democrats will continue to play politics.
But what was actually in the Senate's plans, the one that Speaker Johnson just called ridiculous and the House just rejected? ABC's Ali Pecorin has more from the Capitol.
So it was a big night on Capitol Hill, finally a break to this 42-day-long logjam over funding the Department of Homeland Security. At least we think so. And all of this kind of got some momentum behind it late last night when President Trump decided to get involved in these negotiations in a way that he really hasn't by putting his thumb pretty heavily on the scale. Now, DHS covers a lot of different things, but for most Americans, the way you're most immediately interacting with DHS is over TSA, those lines at the airport that you mentioned.
Right.
And so President Trump decided that after 42 days of watching these lines snake around the airport, he was going to take executive action, issue an executive order to pay TSA agents to prevent those agents from calling out sick and leading to those long lines at the airport. He said he was going to do this by reverting some funds that Congress previously approved in the One Big Beautiful Bill. And he said, I'm going to do this national emergency. We're paying the TSA agents. This is very similar to the way that he paid members of the military during the last government shutdown, right? This move had a bit of an interesting effect on lawmakers on Capitol Hill. On the one hand, it kind of relieved some of the immediate pressure around these negotiations. The Senate reached a bit of an impasse last night that they resolved by passing a bill that actually would fund TSA along with many other aspects of the Department of Homeland Security, although the agreement that the Senate did eventually pass leaves out some critical areas. Early this morning, the Senate acted on an agreement that is a little bit of a win for both sides of the aisle, but still leaves some pretty big glaring areas.
It's not the way to fund the department, Mr. President. But we are out of time for the critical responsibilities and tens of thousands of workers currently going without pay.
So what did the Senate do? They passed a bill that would fund TSA, the big thing that we're focused on, but a few other areas too, including the Coast Guard, FEMA, that's emergency response, and CISA, which is the organization that does cyber infrastructure security. So those are some other big areas that this package that the Senate worked through last night and approved would fund. However, it very critically left out one big area, which is funding for ICE, that's Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, as well as some aspects of Customs and Border Patrol.
I'm very proud of our Democratic caucus. Throughout it all, Senate Democrats stood united, no wavering, no backing down. We held the line.
What we're seeing on Capitol Hill is Democrats sort of claiming that they got a win by not funding ICE and CBP.
That is ABC's Ali Pecorin there. And again, while Congress appears to be split on a funding plan, the president has signed an executive order that will fund the TSA. Paychecks could come as soon as Monday. The House will push a continuing resolution to fund all of the DHS until sometime in May. In just 60 seconds, we'll go back to our coverage of spring break travel troubles and chat with you, Dot, about the roads and highways this weekend. Stay with us.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Spring break is right around the corner for many Utahns, with some of the biggest districts in the state set to take next week off. That means a lot of people are set to hit the roads and the skies for a little vacation. UDOT warning that drivers could see some pretty heavy delays today. The biggest spots to watch are I-15 southbound from Spanish Fork to Nephi and from St. George to Cedar City from now until 7 o'clock tonight. And of course, you should prepare for delays on U.S. Highway 6 heading east from Spanish Fork, with the biggest delays expected from 4 to 10 o'clock this evening. I spoke with UDOT's John Gleason to get the full rundown on how the roads could look over the weekend.
Well, we're expecting our roads to be incredibly busy, especially today, Friday, into the afternoon and evening hours. We're going to see traffic on I-15 really ramp up, especially from those areas around Nephi and then down in from Cedar City to St. George. That's going to be our main trouble spot. We could see delays of up to 45 minutes. And that's something that people are going to want to plan around. And that could last all evening long here. So if you have any flexibility today, travel later on this evening after the majority of the people have already cleared the roads, or if you wanted to take an extra day at home and leave tomorrow morning, you'd probably save yourself some of the headaches of being stuck in those backups as well.
Okay, I guess that means a lot of people are headed for St. George.
A lot of people are heading for St. George, Las Vegas, California, and that means everybody's heading south. Now, the exception to that is travel on US 6. We do expect to see some of those backups in Spanish Fork Canyon this afternoon and evening, as well as people are heading out to Moab. That's a very popular spot this time of year as well. But really, I think the takeaway is that all of our roads are going to be a little busier than normal. And so if you can avoid traveling during those times that everyone else is out on the road, that's probably your safest bet. But if you have to be out there, just remember to be a courteous driver. Give yourself some extra time to get to where you're going so you're not stressing, and always focus on the road. This is the time of year that a lot of people have things on their mind. If you're taking off from work, you're probably thinking about some of those things, family, and it makes sense to kind of put all of those thoughts to the side while you focus on the road ahead, just to make sure that you get to where you're going, because nothing else really matters if you can't get you and your family to where you're going safely.
Yeah, and pack your patience, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we want to make sure that people are being patient drivers out there on the road. Everybody else has the same idea that you do, and so if we can help others get to where they're going safely, they're going to do the same for us, and we'll all have a nice long weekend.
Okay, and then what about coming back? What should we avoid when we're coming back home?
Coming back, we didn't see as much of an issue on the way back, just because it's spread out a little bit. So we have a lot of schools that have this next week completely off, and families that are leaving for a week, but then others that may be just leaving for 4 or 5 days and coming back. So it's a little more spread out coming back. But one thing to watch out for next Friday, we could see similar issues out on our roads, because the other half of the schools are out for the next week. And so that's something to consider. And just the main thing to remember is just to give yourself some extra time out on the roads and make sure that you're paying full attention to the road, because with all those extra vehicles out there, there's more room for people to make unpredictable decisions. And so you always want to make sure that you're watching out not only for your own driving, but watching out for other people as well. And just focus on getting to where you're going safely.
That is UDOT's John Gleason there. So how are the roads looking right now? It's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. And Ricky, any spring break travel trouble spots yet?
Well, not yet. And we always gear up for any kind of special travel events that we know are coming and could affect Utah drivers. But the one thing that will really get people very frustrated behind the wheel, and that's construction, Maria. And I do want to give people a heads up, especially if you're going to be traveling through Davis County. Plan ahead, because we do have an overnight road closure, and it's Highway 89, which is a pretty heavily traveled road in Farmington. This will be at Park Lane. It's not expected to be closed until about 10 o'clock tonight. And a lot of people think, well, that's tonight. It's an overnight closure. But you'd be surprised how many people might try to, as John Gleason said, get a jump on holiday travel and leave during those off-peak travel times. And this closure is going to be overnight, but lane closures could start as early as 9 o'clock tonight. It's not going to reopen until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And UDOT's already expecting big delays, so it may not seem logical to a lot of people if that's not what your travel plans are. But for those who want to get a jump and avoid those other delays, overnight travel is when they like to be out on the road. Right now, Valley Freeway traffic looks good. The Good Feet store is supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And thank you, Ricky. After the break, we'll share a scam alert with you that could have you paying hundreds of dollars just to find out if there are delays at the airport. That story coming up next.
I want more from my checking account. That's why I have Dream Rewards checking from Cyprus Credit Union. I earn points for making everyday purchases, paying my loans, even building my savings. Those points get me awesome rewards like cash back, gift cards, travel, and more. I'm making my everyday spending work for me. Learn more at cypruscu.com.
Cyprus Credit Union, your future is our future.
Insured by NCUA.
One Kind Act a Day is a program from the Semnani Family Foundation. One Kind Act a Day seeks to create kinder communities by inspiring daily acts of deliberate kindness. Their work includes programs in schools, businesses, communities, faith groups, and prisons where they help enhance the culture of kindness and increase a sense of community. The world always needs more kindness. No matter what our background or beliefs are, kindness towards others and ourselves is something that everyone can get behind. Kindness can be big or small, but the ripple effect can reach out in ways that we don't even realize. Wouldn't life be better if we were all a little more kind? You can do your part by starting today. All it takes is one kind act a day. Find out more and take the pledge of kindness at thepowerofkind.org. That's thepowerofkind.org.
I'm Congressman Mike Kennedy. For years, Utah families have paid too much for health care, groceries, and everyday essentials. I'm fighting for health care reform that puts patients first and lowers costs. I'm also working to cut waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington because your tax dollars should be spent wisely. Fiscal responsibility means lower costs and a government that works for you. I'm Mike Kennedy, and I'll keep fighting for Utah families. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Attention Jazz Nation, the long wait is finally over. Mountain basketball is back and better than ever. Let's go! All tickets are on sale now, and you won't want to miss the action. Jump on the opportunity to watch your favorite players live and in person. Whether you're after season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, the Utah Jazz has got your back. There's a plan for every fan. Don't miss out. Secure your seats today and be part of the excitement all season long. Let's go! Visit UtahJazz.com today.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free Gold IRA Info Kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. With long wait times at airports around the country, scammers are hopping into action, trying to take advantage of confusion and frustration from travelers. KSL investigator Matt Gebhardt has the story of one Utah couple who almost found themselves out hundreds of dollars just to get some information.
A Utah traveler says that when she tried to call for help, she didn't get the airport. This is video I shot of Deborah Gamero back in 2023 giving a piano lesson. And it turns out Deborah is so good at teaching that she's currently in Chicago accepting an award from the National Music Teachers Association. Way to go, Deb. But alas, this story is not a celebration. You see, before she left, Deborah says she hopped on the internet looking for a phone number for the Salt Lake City International Airport. With all the news of long TSA lines, Deborah wanted to ask how early she needed to arrive before her flight. And a search engine spit out a phone number, but it was not the airport's phone number. Deborah texted me, "I called the numbers for the airport and got airport consolidations. They told me I needed to pay another $150 to secure a seat." Now, Deborah recognized it was a scammer and she hung up. And then she reached out to me so that I could warn you. So I headed to the airport to ask, how should travelers get information?
We have a website, which is slcairport.com, that has information about lost and found. It has information about flights.
And it has information about TSA wait times, says airport spokesperson Nancy Vollmer. It also has the real airport phone number that travelers can call.
Does the airport ever charge for information?
We do not. So the airport, all of the information that we provide is at no charge.
Vollmer says she has not heard of this particular scam before, but Get Gebhardt has reported on similar scams in the past. Fake phone numbers, fake help desks, real money lost. From car scams to ticket scams, and now travel confusion. The Federal Trade Commission reports that imposter fraud is one of the most costly frauds in the country, and artificial intelligence is making it harder to spot. It is an issue that is exacerbated as more and more companies abandon phone lines and call centers altogether, instead rely on messaging. When people go looking for a number, there isn't one, and bad guys are there happy to fill that void. Salt Lake International does have a phone number as well as an email address. We've got information for those attached to this story on our website, ksltv.com.
KSL investigator Matt Gebhardt there. And again, you find all the tips that he shared, plus legitimate links at ksltv.com. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Some large developments on the Olympic scene this week, including a ban on transgender athletes. We'll have an in-depth conversation. The warm weather probably has you itching to do your workouts outside. We've got some spring exercise tips and KSL traffic. Ricky?
No delays on the Valley freeways, but a small crash northbound I-15 in Draper. Maria?
Very nice weather for your weekend. The temperature's climbing back up into the upper 70s. It's 1:30.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. The Department of Homeland Security says that TSA workers will start receiving paychecks again this coming Monday after President Trump signed a memorandum instructing the DHS Secretary and the Office of Management and Budget to find the funds to do so. It comes as the standoff in Congress over DHS funding continues, with House Republicans now rejecting a funding bill passed by the Senate overnight.
We know some hardline Republicans are upset that there wasn't funding for ICE specifically.
specifically that it didn't have a more comprehensive DHS package, and then also that it didn't include certain restrictions on voter ID.
ABC's Christiane Cordero. The House, meanwhile, is now teeing up a vote for a 60-day continuing resolution for all of DHS, but that would have to go back to the Senate, where it is unlikely to pass. And authorities in Florida now say Tiger Woods has been involved in a rollover car crash. The professional golfer was previously injured in a crash in 2021. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. Park City's Canyons Village says they will be replacing one of their iconic lifts as part of a massive redevelopment plan. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has details.
The Canyons Village will soon be mourning the loss of the cabriolet. The bucket-style lift accommodates 2 or 3 standing people at a time, but John Canale from Park City Mountain says what's coming next will be bigger, better, and more efficient.
The 10-passenger gondola will get guests up the hill faster, more efficiently, and it'll provide some covered protection on those colder days. It will also have a mid-load station, which provides much better access to anyone staying in the mid-village to the rest of the village.
According to Park City Mountain, the new Skyway will be open for the 26-27 ski season. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Other local stories KSL is following. A Utah-based organization wants to block the release of humanoid robots. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
A nonprofit group that calls themselves Go Unite says the adoption of highly advanced humanoid technology is concerning and could lead to a reduction in the intellectual and physical development of the human race. Just this week, First Lady Melania Trump attended an event with a robot. She took part in the Summit on Educational Technology, encouraging the use of AI and these humanoid robots when teaching children. This petition was first put together after Tesla CEO Elon Musk offered to pay people to wear motion capture suits to help with their development.
The petition has around 1,000 signatures so far. Here in Utah, gas prices still on the rise. You can expect to pay about $4.19 a gallon at the pump today, up another 2 cents from yesterday, and more than 20 cents above the national average. Diesel is also up, sitting at $5.48 in Utah. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 770 points, sitting at 45,190. S&P down by 105 points, and the NASDAQ, boy, it's down by more than 2%, down 448 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Ricky?
We do have a good drive on the Valley freeways. In fact, a good time to be out on the roads if you are thinking of getting out of town. One small accident. It's northbound I-15 after the point and before you get to 146 South. Out of traffic, not an issue. We're seeing backups, though, southbound SR36 Main Street in Tooele County. This is from 2000 north on the way towards the 10th north. You'll see traffic backed up in both lanes. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 68 degrees, but back up into the upper 70s for the weekend. Then the temperatures slowly go down next week, and we do have a 40% chance of rain on Tuesday. Right now, 57 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at GoPaveUtah.com. Call or visit GoPaveUtah.com.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that can make your savings go twice as far in retirement.
and it's tax planning. That's right. Tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 801-896-9622. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 801-896-9622. 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice. Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The International Olympic Committee announced this week that only biological women will be allowed to compete in women's events. Deseret News reporter Lisa Riley-Roche has been looking at two developing stories in the Olympic world this week. The first being that ban of transgender athletes in women's competitions.
Well, this was an announcement yesterday by the International Olympic Committee after a meeting of their executive board in Switzerland. The IOC president, Kirsty Coventry, announced that they had made a decision on how to handle transgender athletes who want to compete in women's events at the Olympics. What's going to happen is now only biological women are going to be able to compete in women's individual and team events at the Olympics. That means, of course, that transgender women will be barred. The IOC will determine who is eligible to compete in, again, women's events at the Olympics through a gene test similar to what the Track and Field International Federation is already doing. Women who want to compete in those Olympic events will have to take a once-in-a-lifetime test that shows whether or not they have the presence of a certain gene.
So it sounds like all of women will have to take the test then, right?
Yes. To be eligible to compete as a woman in the Olympics, athletes will now have to take a test. It may only have to be taken once in their lifetime, but they will have to be screened for the SRY gene. And that's the gene that's a segment of DNA that is almost always on the Y chromosome, and it initiates male sexual development, according to the IOC's explanation. The test is done by a cheek swab or through blood testing, and it's a type of screening that's already required by World Athletics, the International Federation over Track and Field. The IOC said this is the most accurate and least intrusive way to screen for what they call biological sex.
What is the idea behind this? I mean, we don't even know if there are any transgender athletes that are competing at this level, right?
Well, there was a transgender weightlifter in a past games, but it's not clear how many transgender athletes have competed. And the IOC's previous policy left it up to the international federations that govern individual sports to determine eligibility, because, of course, different sports have different levels of contact. But there has been international pressure, of course, including from the U.S. President, Donald Trump, to bar transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. Now, the IOC president, Kirsty Coventry, was asked about that at yesterday's news conference following the meeting where this decision was apparently made. And she says this was the priority for her way before President Trump came into his second term, and that there hadn't been pressure to deliver anything. But a lot of people, including the White House, are seeing this as a big victory for an agenda that is being advanced by the U.S. president.
Lisa, are there any local athletes that we know of that have been speaking out about this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, let's turn to another subject now, and that's what the governor learned from the Milan Olympics. So what have you found out? What did he learn that's going to help us here in Utah?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway for Governor Cox being in Milan, Italy for the 2026 Winter Games was just how much work it takes to put on an Olympics and the Paralympics that follow for athletes with disabilities. Those Utahns who may have experienced the Olympics as our governor did as sort of a spectator back in 2002 have not had the experience of seeing what goes on behind the scenes. And that was the reason he and about 100 other Utahns were in Italy, was to observe what happens to produce what we see on our TVs, the exciting spectacles of competition. There's so much work behind the scenes. Governor Cox talked about running into things like zip ties used to secure lights on a stairwell at one of the venues that wasn't completed until just the last minute before the start of the games, and arguably not completely finished. He had a lot of praise for the Italian organizers, but seeing details like that, I think, made him realize how much needs to happen to make everything run as well as is going to be expected from Utah organizers. Remember, we did this before in 2002 to much acclaim, so the expectations are very high for 2034. And I think that's something that everyone who was in Italy had reinforced. The governor also talked about training issues with some of the Olympic volunteers in Italy, saying that there were long lines and issues with concessions, for example, things that spectators don't want to run into when they paid a lot to attend an Olympic event. So the governor realized that Utahns are going to have to try to anticipate a lot of those problems to make sure that spectators at our events in 2034 don't run into those kinds of issues.
All right. Any final thoughts for us?
It's easy for Utahns to think that the Olympics are very far away, and we've done this before, and so it's just going to be smooth sailing between now and 2034. But the goal is to make it look like smooth sailing, but that's going to take an awful lot of work behind the scenes.
Lisa Riley-Roche is a reporter with the Deseret News. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Does your home have peeling paint or faded colors? Don't procrastinate. You need to protect your home with quality paint and a worry-free process, so make an appointment with CertaPro Painters. You quickly get a free estimate that's detailed, easy to understand, and then their trusted local professionals will bring fresh color to your home with quality craftsmanship at the right price. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro.com.
The Salt Lake Chamber is Utah's voice for business. Okay, that sounds great, but what does it really mean? Well, as Utah's largest and longest standing business association, they support and champion community prosperity throughout the state. And if you're in business, well, that's a very good thing for you. Be sure to listen to the Chamber's Speaking on Business, weekdays at 7:20, 11:55, and 5:20 p.m. on KSL News Radio.
Spring is definitely here, and that may have you itching to do some spring workouts, some exercises outside. But after a winter of, maybe not a lot of movement, you may need to do some prep work before you hit the trails in full force. For some tips on how to best prepare for your spring workouts, I am joined by Niles Draysites, a lead fitness coach at Planet Fitness.
The first thing is to make sure, still come to the gym. That way you can build a foundation for strength, balance, coordination. So then when you go outside to hike, to kayak, walk, whatever it is, you have that strength and mobility first.
Right. So don't think you're going to do like I did one year and thought, I left up being able to run 4 miles. I can do that again this spring. That's a really terrible idea, especially if you want to walk the next day.
Yeah. So it's like take it slow too, coming to the gym first.
Right,
Yep.
right. So describe how you kind of prepare people and build that strength.
Exactly. So first off, usually the first session, if it's a beginner, come in, have like a little assessment to see, maybe like squat form, definitely posture, how they walk. I have older clients that come in that maybe rounded shoulders. I can assess that from the start and then say, hey, we should do these exercises. So then when they go out to the outdoors to do their activities, their posture's better, they feel better, and they sleep better too.
Yeah, everybody doesn't start at the same place. So you kind of do an assessment to begin with.
Exactly. Everybody's different. Everybody's their own individual background, environment, work, whatever it is that brought them to us, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So then how do you begin a strength training program?
That's a great question. First off, meet with the client one-on-one and then talk about wellness history, maybe ailments, injuries that I should know about, and then tailor the program based off of that with also their fitness goals. So whether they want to get stronger, then we build, for example, more of the heavy lifting type stuff, or maybe their balance is off. It's more balance, coordination, things like that.
Yeah, injuries, that's an important thing for you to know. You don't want to re-injure them and have them just give up right off the bat, right?
Exactly, because some people come in with shoulder ailments, maybe knees, and I'm like, oh, I don't think we should probably squat first. Maybe we'll do something less intense to kind of build them to that progression.
So, talk about the core and how important it is to do you build the core first?
That's part of it. Core, if you think about it, Maria, everything from upper body lifts, lower body, any type of movements, it starts from like here, the core. So if you get that strong, it's going to help people with low back pain, which will help standing taller, walking better, going for hikes, everything. Core, bending down, squatting up, starts here. So it's a good foundation to start with.
So women say, oh, my arms are weak, but you're like, it's not just about your arms.
Exactly. It could be core, it could be, the legs as well. But if you have a strong core, like if you just watch me, I'm standing up taller just by, contracting the stomach, helps the low back, helps everything else.
Okay. And then once the core is in good shape, how do you move on to legs and arms?
Yeah. Well,
what's the thought process?
That's a great question. You could even start, like the first session can be core, but you can also do legs as well, kind of like a full picture approach, full body. We have those classes at Planet Fitness, so you can do the core, tailor that also with some legs, also with some upper body. Kind of just depends on the client as well.
So what is your best advice to those folks who are just starting out?
Definitely come to us. Judgment-free zone, all the classes are free. It's like, what do you have to lose? You might as well take the first step. That's always the hardest, right? People say it's the hardest to come to the gym. Once you make that first step, we can work with you, whether it's myself, another coach at a different location, to get you squared away. But you got to take that first step.
Yeah, so what do you tell those folks who are like, I'm embarrassed to go to the gym. I don't want people to see me like this.
Right. I get it. I have clients now that are the same way, and just tell them it's okay. Everybody, they're not looking at you. They're thinking about themselves in their own head, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about you, and just come in. As long as you just put that 1 foot forward, you're going to make progress.
Okay. Anything that you'd like to add? Any final thoughts?
With the warmer weather, it's good, obviously come here. So that way you build it to go outside. You can do the hiking and the jogging, the running, but if you build it first in the gym, then it will transfer to that, and then vice versa. So it's like a full picture approach. Strength train or cardio in the gym will lead to better cardio outdoors, better hiking, longer hikes, and also, like I mentioned earlier, help with your sleep as well.
Yeah, and better able to handle hotter temperatures, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Yep.
Niles Drasites is a lead fitness coach at Planet Fitness in South Salt Lake. He was nice enough to actually film a video with us on some fitness tips, and you can find that right now on our socials. You can find it at KSL News Radio on the Facebook page, or you can find it on my Facebook page as well. Apple has unveiled 8 new emojis with their most recent update, and it got me wondering what your favorite emojis are. We'll get a breakdown of the new emoticons after the break. So in the meantime, you can text me at 57500 with your favorite emoji. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU, love where you bank. Ricky?
I think we may have a new crash, and it's going to be northbound to I-15 in South Salt Lake near the 3300 South on-ramp. You'll see a couple of vehicles over on the right shoulder. And then construction is also causing a little bit of a reduced speed southbound Legacy Parkway with a lane restriction going through North Salt Lake. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Every day on your way home, you pass it. That one lawn so thick and deep green, it belongs in the big leagues. It sets the bar for the entire street, making every other lawn look like it's still waiting for a wake-up call. Look for the sign of a winner. Big League Lawns. Now, it's your turn. Level the playing field and get the results your home deserves. Go home to a Big League Lawn.
Are mosquitoes still ruining your nights? The kids are finally outside, the string lights are glowing, and the swatting starts. Don't let mosquitoes steal your summer. Call Skeeter Eater, a Utah company built for backyards like yours. Our family-friendly treatments and smart mosquito traps keep the fun going long after sunset. Fewer bites, happier nights, and peace of mind that lasts all season. Book now and get $40 off your first treatment at SkeeterEater.com. Skeeter Eater. Stop the bites, start the fun.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new, it's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace tucked away in a drawer, pieces full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jeweler specializes in reimagining family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Duke's on-site jewelers and designers work with you one-on-one to honor the original story while creating something fresh, modern, and uniquely yours. From resetting diamonds into new engagement rings to transforming multiple heirloom pieces into one stunning design, every project is crafted with care, precision, and intention. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers on Main Street in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, where old stories become new treasures. dukesjewelers.com.
It was opening night at Hale Center Theater for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Victor Hugo's classic tale. I was with my son Ian, and it was nothing short of spectacular. The staging, the costuming, the music, it's simply breathtaking. And of course, the actors and the voices. You have to see The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's on the main stage right now at Hale Center Theater. So many of the scenes are never to be forgotten. For example, when Frollo is just struggling with his passion for Esmeralda and his soul, the flames and the tension on the stage is unbelievable. And to see the Hunchback up in the tower with the bells, don't miss Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's underway right now at Hale Center Theater. And continuing, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, that's on the Jewel Box stage, and Hallmarked on the Beehive stage. Get your tickets now, hct.org. Don't miss the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th.
Switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Apple releasing 8 new emojis as part of its iOS update. Now, before we get to that, you can text me at 57500 and tell me your favorite emoji. Joining me now for this conversation is Midday executive producer Andy Cupp. And Andy, so what are these new emojis?
All right, now let me first preface this.
Yes.
In case somebody decides to text in.
They will.
I understand this is not hard-hitting, groundbreaking journalism here.
We need some levity.
But we need some levity, and my goodness, do people love their emojis. In fact, Maria, before I get to this list, what is your favorite emoji?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the little poop emojis has kind of been my favorite, just because at first I thought it was like a chocolate kiss thing until I realized.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, dear.
I never use it, but I just think it's just a cute one. The one I probably use the most is probably the heart or the smiley face. Yeah.
I think my favorite is either going to be the upside down face or the melting face.
Okay, I've never used either of those.
I use them a lot if I'm trying to describe, well, guess that's it kind of thing. Okay, so anyway, so here are the 8 new emojis as part of the latest iOS update. First one, distorted face. It's an emoji with bulging eyes.
I think I might use this one. I think I could see a use for that one.
I don't know what I would use it for, but it's a good one.
You have days where you don't have bulging eyes. Your eyes aren't going to pop out of your head.
Luckily, I wear glasses, so it keeps the eyes from bulging out too far. Ballet dancer, available in various skin tones.
Okay.
A treasure chest. Hate that word. Treasure chest filled with gold, pearls, jewels, and a crown.
Well, if we have no money, how are we going to use that one?
To say you have none of this, I guess.
Oh, okay.
We need one of those.
Opposite.
You need to do the girl who's holding her arms up in an X, and then this one's say I have none of this. Another one is a hairy creature, is how it's described, and it is Sasquatch.
Okay.
It is Bigfoot.
So maybe
100%.
somebody out on a hike wants to put up a Sasquatch.
Or if you see Bigfoot,
Well, that's what I kind of.
I won't judge. Right. Okay, then we have an orca or killer whale, a trombone, so you can do the wow sound, I guess.
Oh, okay.
A landslide, small rocks tumbling beside a larger rock. I don't understand this one. And then a fight cloud, as seen in cartoons, and I don't understand this one.
Is that like Batman? And there was like those like comment things like pow and wow and.
Maybe? You know what? Maybe? It might actually be.
Okay.
It might be.
So I'm looking at our texters here. I have a green heart. I have Corey telling me, is this the smiley one with the sunglasses? What's the one with the sunglasses?
That's the nerd one.
Oh, the nerd emoji. What's the one with the tongue sticking out the side? Is that the crazy emoji?
Crazy or just wacky.
Wacky person
emoji. Yeah.
Okay. A listener saying they like the levitating man emoji. Though they do like the emoticons better.
The old school that you could get, in Microsoft Word. That was a fun thing. I remember using those, or in the old AOL chat rooms. Good times.
You said you like the smile or the laughing emoji the best.
I use that one the most.
It's hard to make me laugh, so I don't ever use the laughing emoji. I mean, it has to be really funny.
I'm a millennial, so I end every text with either ha, LOL, or the laughing emoji, whether or not it's
LOL.
funny.
Is that an emoji, though?
No, it's close enough,
though. I think so. Okay. Thank you, Andy.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
After more than 40 days, TSA agents could finally see some financial relief.
We're going to take care of those who take care of us. The employees and the Department of Homeland Security have gone without funding and without paychecks for 42 days.
A short time ago, President Trump signed an order instructing DHS to find the money to pay TSA workers. It comes after a Senate-backed budget proposal failed in the House.
This gambit that was done last night is a joke.
The time is 2 o'clock on Friday, March 27th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, the House wants to pass a continuing resolution to fund all of DHS through May, but that would need to go back to the Senate. We'll go in depth on these latest developments and what it means for long-term TSA funding. Plus, Governor Cox signing his final bills of the legislative session into law. Later this hour, we're going to talk about a few bills that specifically address Utah's outdoors and wildlife.
We do have a very outdoor recreation-based state. It's a big driver of our economy.
But first, our top stories. We do have breaking news. Tiger Woods was in a rollover crash in Florida this afternoon. The Martin County Sheriff's Office did not say what led up to the crash or Woods' current condition. The pro golfer was injured in a different rollover crash in 2021 in Southern California. Officials say he was speeding and hit a tree. He was not cited, and police say he did not show signs of impairment. We will continue to follow these latest updates of today's crash. A Utah violinist who spent more than 2 weeks in ICE detention last summer could become a permanent U.S. resident in a matter of days. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
Last August, we told you about John Shin, who's played violin for the Utah Symphony and Ballet West. He was arrested by ICE while on a business trip in Colorado and ended up spending 17 days in a detention facility before a judge granted his release. Fast forward to now, Shin just completed his green card interview. And while his attorney Adam Craig tells me John was understandably nervous going into this,
it wasn't confrontational and it was just really calming. And when we walked out of there, you could just see this enormous weight come off of John.
Craig says he expects Shin to have his green card in hand sometime in the next few days. It will give him all the rights of a U.S. citizen except the right to vote, be on a jury, or to have a U.S. passport. And because Shin is married to a U.S. citizen, he can apply to become one himself in just under 3 years. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story from ABC News. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the United States peace plan has been given to Iran, and now they're just waiting for word back. This as the war is approaching its 5th week.
We haven't gotten it yet. Look, we've got messages. We've had an exchange of messages and indications from the Iranian system, whatever's left of it, about a willingness to talk about certain things. We're waiting for further clarification about who is it that we would be talking to, what will we be talking about, and when will we be talking.
Rubio says they are ahead of schedule. He also says the U.S. is meeting its objectives in its war with Iran, including destroying Iran's military and destroying their ability to make missiles, drones, and nuclear weapons. Stock market taking a beating today. The Dow down by 793 points at the close to end at 45,167. S&P down by 108 points. The NASDAQ, though, down more than 2%, down 459 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Ricky?
We do have a report of a crash on the exit ramp from eastbound I-80 at 7th East to the left, and also some busy and sometimes slower traffic in Murray, northbound I-15, passing the South Interchange on the way to 5300 South. With nutrients blended for greener, healthier turf in our local soil, IFA's 4+ Lawn Care program is the ultimate lawn owner power move. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Temperatures climbing for the weekend, back up into the upper 70s, 75 on Monday, and then dropping into the 60s for the rest of next week. Looks like we do have a good chance of showers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Right now, 59 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Congressman Mike Kennedy. For years, Utah families have paid too much for health care, groceries, and everyday essentials. I'm fighting for health care reform that puts patients first and lowers costs. I'm also working to cut waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington because your tax dollars should be spent wisely. Fiscal responsibility means lower costs and a government that works for you. I'm Mike Kennedy, and I'll keep fighting for Utah families. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. TSA workers could see their first paycheck in more than a month as soon as Monday. President Trump signing an executive order this afternoon to fund TSA. Speaker Mike Johnson broke the news a short time ago.
President Trump has already ordered by executive order that TSA agents will be paid, and that machinery is in process right now. The Office of Management and Budget is working through that to make sure that that happens, and we will reduce the lines and the waits at the airlines, and we'll make sure that those who are protecting us are paid.
The executive order comes as Congress remains divided. The Senate approved a plan to fund parts of DHS, including the TSA. It failed in the House. Instead, lawmakers there hope to pass a continuing resolution that would fund all of the Department of Homeland Security until May.
We're not playing political games on this. We encourage some of our Democrats, hopefully we'll have some of our Democrats in the House who go along with this and stop the pain that's being forced upon these people. The reason that we can't accept this ridiculousness, okay, is because we're not going to risk not funding the agencies that keep the American people safe. The Department of Homeland Security is the third largest department in the federal government. It has 10 agencies beneath it. It's not just TSA, it's also FEMA, the Coast Guard, all these agencies that keep us safe. We must fund them. This is not a game. Republicans will do the responsible and honorable thing, and Democrats will continue to play politics.
Speaker Johnson says his biggest problem with the Senate-backed bill is that it didn't fund immigrations. The Speaker saying that's not an option.
It is a basic function of the government. The Democrats fundamentally disagree. The Senate Democrats have hoisted upon this appropriations process their radical, crazy agenda. We call it crazy because that's what it is. They want to reopen the borders, and they want to stop the deportation of dangerous criminal illegal aliens. We have to do these basic functions of government. We have to fund them in order to do them.
And Democrats in Congress are expected to address this issue coming up in a news conference, hopefully sometime this hour. While airports around the country have seen massive security lines, some tools that use biometric data like your face or eyes have seen a major uptick in popularity. News Nation's Nancy Liu says the Clear app is becoming a must-have tool.
There are some signs of improvement, but some airports still struggling with high call-out rates. We can tell you it's led to a surge of new business for Clear. We've heard there have been nearly 300,000 new downloads of the Clear app so far this month. And in that same period, nearly 500 TSA officers have quit. Security lines remain especially bad in Houston, where the TSA call-out rate has sometimes topped 40% during the partial shutdown. DHS says the national average is just over 11%. That's over 3,000 workers, though. This morning, the estimated wait time at Bush Airport, it is still over 3 hours.
We have the boarding pass and everything. We just waiting from there to here. That's how long it took. Someone got to do something.
According to DHS, the new layer of ICE officers at over a dozen airports, it is bringing improvement along with guarding entryways and doing crowd control. ICE officers have also been trained in verifying identification using TSA equipment. DHS tells News Nation's Allie Bradley that 500 ICE officers are deploying to New York City alone to help with TSA. Now, for most TSA workers, tomorrow is supposed to be payday, but for yet another pay period, there will be no paycheck, just as many typical bills come due next week. Not only are these TSA workers on the job without pay, they are also dealing with a surge in being attacked. According to the TSA's deputy administrator, there's been a 500% increase in assaults of TSA officers since this latest shutdown began, which could be a factor in the rate of call-outs.
That is News Nation's Nancy Liu there. And we do have breaking news. As I was telling you just a moment ago, the House Democrats are speaking now about after the House GOP rejected the DHS funding bill. Let's hear what Representative Hakeem Jeffries has to say.
The only thing standing right now between the chaos that is taking place at airports all across the country and the American people and making sure you are no longer inconvenienced are House Republicans. That's the only thing standing right now as we approach Easter and Passover, with chaos breaking out all over the country, TSA agents being forced to work without pay week after week after week. And now we have this bipartisan bill sent over by the Senate that House Democrats are prepared to support. If that bill is brought to the floor today, it will pass. And the Trump Republican DHS shutdown will be over. But unfortunately, MAGA extremists in the House of Representatives continue to inflict pain on the American people. It's now my honor to yield to the House Democratic Whip, my good friend and colleague from the great Commonwealth.
And you've been listening to a news conference in the nation's capital. That is Representative Hakeem Jeffries talking as the House GOP rejected the DHS funding bill. And a reminder that President Trump this afternoon did sign an executive order providing funding for the TSA.
Andy, I like that shirt. Is that a new shirt?
It is. It's from Ann Collar, and it's really rare to find a shirt that looks good and is super comfortable. And this is a fabric unlike anything I've ever felt.
I got one for my husband and my sons, and they watching my 19-year-old put on the Ann Collar shirt and sort of check himself out in the mirror. I thought, wow, he's really digging that. And I can understand why, because it's not just comfortable, it's stain repellent, which I needed.
Oh, my goodness. Something.
He attracts spaghetti sauce to shirts like you would not believe. And with these Ann Collar shirts, I can get it out.
And I have to wear a special bib when I eat spaghetti with a white shirt on. But with Ann Collar shirts, it takes those little tiny nicks and stains, and they don't stick to you. Yeah, you don't have to dump a bucket of stuff on you, but it would repel that too.
You've got to try one. So whether it's the traditional white shirt or any of the patterns they have, it's Ann Collar, and they're made right here in Utah.
If you've never tried Ann Collar before, we have got permission to give you 15% off at AnnCollar.com and go get your first. Use the code KSL15.
That's Ann Collar, ANDCollar.com.
Eye on the Hill 2026. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Governor Spencer Cox has signed a batch of new laws that protect wildlife in Utah. Public Information Officer for the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, Faith Heaton-Jolly, tells me several bills related to wildlife management were approved in the last legislative session.
Obviously, tons and tons of bills were passed this session, but there were a few that were related to wildlife and wildlife management that we wanted to make the public aware of. So one is going to be kind of a follow-up of a bill that was passed last year. So HB 30, Wildlife Management Area Amendments. If you recall, last year there was some legislation passed that basically required anybody 18 years or older to have a hunting, fishing, or a combination license in order to access one of our wildlife or waterfowl management areas in Utah, in 4 counties specifically. So this is kind of an update piggybacking off of that law to where anybody now that does not have a hunting, fishing, or a combination license can instead basically just watch an educational video about WMAs, and then they can get a free digital access permit to access the WMAs in Utah.
So kind of tell me the purpose behind that, Faith.
Yeah, so I think it basically is just making it more accessible for people that aren't hunters and anglers, but still educating them about the purpose of these WMAs. So WMAs are specifically properties for wildlife. So they provide shelter and habitat and food sources and help prevent, depredation or them causing damage on other areas. And so they're typically funded by hunting and fishing license dollars as well. And so this was just kind of, I think last year's legislation was an initiative to help anybody that's using these areas to help fund them as well. And then this is kind of expanding that, but also allowing them to just get that education and not have to pay to access them if they don't already have a hunting or a fishing license.
I see. So now what are some of the other laws that were approved?
Yeah, so another exciting one, there is kind of similar. There's a lot of wildlife management area laws that went into effect this year. So that was the first one. And the second one that actually creates a new waterfowl management area. So this will be the Goshen Bay Waterfowl Management Area. It will be managed by our agency, the Division of Wildlife Resources, and it will benefit waterfowl and other wildlife in that specific property around Utah Lake. So just kind of another area that people can go have additional hunting opportunities, and then again, it will help kind of protect waterfowl as they're migrating through that area. So that was HB 93. And then another exciting one is HB 431. This one actually allocates $2 million annually toward wildlife connectivity projects, so wildlife crossings, and to kind of help fund those. And so we can partner with the Utah Department of Transportation to identify locations for those and then hopefully be able to install more across Utah to better help wildlife to migrate and kind of protect some of those important migration corridors that they need.
What do these new laws say about our priorities here in the state and protecting our natural resources?
Maybe I'm biased, but it feels like there's been a lot of attention and focus and prioritizing of wildlife in Utah in the last, several years of legislative sessions. And it's great that we are seeing more support and interest and especially funding going towards preserving some of these important habitat areas, helping to restore some of our wildlife areas, and then, helping to fund additional wildlife, crossings. I think there is just a lot of interest, and it's great to see that our legislators, but also Utahns in general are really, that they value wildlife and some of these spaces that they rely on.
Yeah, and we like to spend our time outdoors. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, exactly. And just acknowledging that it all kind of goes hand in hand, right? That we do have a very outdoor recreation-based state. It's a big driver of our economy, which includes hunting and fishing and wildlife watching. And so being able to preserve these lands and help manage and, provide funding for projects for these species is really exciting.
Faith Heaton-Jolly is the Public Information Officer for the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. After the break, let's take a closer look at how online gambling, including things like prediction markets, are affecting our overall health. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. What's happening, Ricky?
A small accident eastbound on the 21st South Freeway near 5600 West, but it's out of traffic on the shoulder. And Maria, we are already seeing the drive home pick up, and it's a little early even for a Friday, but southbound I-15, busy and slow, approaching 7200 South and going through Draper. Looking to connect your kids with nature? Flower gardening is hands-on, time together, and memories. Olson's Greenhouse offers perfect plants for families to grow together. For porches, patios, beds, or containers, visit Olson's at OGG.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. You can feel the spring in the air. As a matter of fact, we've been feeling the spring in the air all winter long. But as the season genuinely changes, it's time to make your reservation at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Hotel Park City and downtown Salt Lake City. And don't forget, quite a few great events are just around the corner, including some holidays. We'll have a lot of visitors in Salt Lake City before long, and it's time to make your reservation at the downtown location, 275 South West Temple. And of course, up in the mountains, it is beautiful. There's still some skiing going on. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is right there at Hotel Park City. The best meal you have ever had awaits you at Ruth's Chris, whether it's steaks, whether it's poultry, whether it's seafood, the side dishes, the desserts. You're going to love Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, downtown Salt Lake City and Hotel Park City.
Let's retrofit and renovate old buildings before it's too late. 45 wire pipes and power lines to keep things flowing and get back online. EIGONE. Let's work together to get ready. We don't have to be scared. Visit earthquakes.utah.gov to prepare.
Brought to you by Envision Utah.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Take the first step. Visit CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
One Kind Act a Day is a program from the Semnani Family Foundation. One Kind Act a Day seeks to create kinder communities by inspiring daily acts of deliberate kindness. Their work includes programs in schools, businesses, communities, faith groups, and prisons where they help enhance the culture of kindness and increase a sense of community. The world always needs more kindness. No matter what our background or beliefs are, kindness towards others and ourselves is something that everyone can get behind. Kindness can be big or small, but the ripple effect can reach out in ways that we don't even realize. Wouldn't life be better if we were all a little more kind? You can do your part by starting today. All it takes is one kind act a day. Find out more and take the pledge of kindness at thepowerofkind.org. That's thepowerofkind.org.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. As basketball lovers continue to watch their March Madness brackets, we're learning that online gambling is developing into a health crisis in the U.S. ABC's Aaron Katursky reports the potential crisis on the Start Here podcast with host Brad Milkey. Now, he says the immediate gratification gamblers get with online betting is part of the problem.
Now there is near instant gratification thanks to what we call parlay or micro bets, where you can wager on every single moment of every single game, every putt, every pitch, every free throw.
With our exclusive Lightning Bets, you can bet live on the next play, minute by minute.
And chances to live bet from the first down to the final whistle.
As the two sides trade baskets, the odds change. You can keep wagering on who's going to win or who's going to cover the spread, which is always changing. And it's that kind of instant gratification that scientists we met say is particularly vulnerable for young people.
Right from the start, I felt like I needed more action.
We talked to a guy in Philadelphia named Rob Minnick who said his gambling addiction started at a young age, and as online betting became more prevalent, he says his addiction deepened.
When I turned 18, I was already spending years watching the Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, and so it felt pretty natural to me to, when I saw these commercials saying, hey, win some money while you're watching these games, it felt like, wow. That looks amazing. I was already watching it. I might as well, make a little bit of money doing it.
And he was placing bets for hours on end every single day.
I lost so much and I was down so much and I had such little access to resources to continue to bet that I did not see a way out of that financial situation and, of course, the emotional situation by gambling more.
Aaron went to a sports bar with a doctor that treats kids who are developing gambling addictions, and Dr. Levant describes how they get hooked.
With 51 seconds left.
51 seconds left. This is designed for people who were losing their bets. Here's one more opportunity to bet.
And with him, we are watching games together. He's describing how the odds are changing.
Microbetting is about action. It's about a constant, nonstop delivery.
And it turns out, Brad, that researchers say that the same part of the brain that's activated, maybe when you take a drink or a hit of an illicit drug, that same part of the brain is what's activated when you place your bet.
Gambling has been around from the dawn of time. We are seeing an enormous increase of people struggling with gambling addiction. Therefore, one of two things is so. Either in 2026, all of our brains have somehow changed, or the product has changed.
It's not the act of betting necessarily. It's the act of not knowing the outcome, that momentary hit of suspense that is really fueling young people's addictions.
I mean, it's clear at this point that young men are just coming to online gambling in droves. I've seen estimates that about half of young men have an account with one of these sports books, just astronomical figures. But there's young adults and then there's kids, right? So, I mean, when we talk about brain chemistry and stuff, how do kids specifically fit into this picture?
We found that people who deal with gambling disorders and addictions are starting to treat people younger and younger.
Right now what we're seeing is a significant expansion of young people, primarily young men, who are presenting to our program.
We talked with Dr. Nasir Naqvi at Columbia University. He's hearing of addictions in people as young as 13. He treats people starting when they're 18. And it's the young brain that seems to be particularly vulnerable to this kind of fast-paced micro-betting where every moment becomes something to gamble on.
The way that gambling affects the brain is tied to the way that the wins and losses in gambling exquisitely tap into the function of what we call the dopamine system in the brain. You know, people aren't just getting money, they're playing a game, and that uncertainty actually drives this dopamine response more than just merely winning money.
Aaron Kotursky and Brad Milkey on Start Here. Weber County is seeing a lot of success with a program that aims to help former inmates get back on their feet. So much success, officials have decided to renew the High Utilizer Recidivism Reduction Initiative, or HURRY, for another year. This initiative combines many different services during and after incarceration in one collaborative goal. Program coordinator for forensic social work, Daniel Lancaster, says it begins with social workers evaluating the person and then recommending a care plan while they're incarcerated.
Critically, social workers do this before sentencing. They do this while the case is being adjudicated. They work specifically and exclusively with public defenders. And I want to note here that if you need an attorney and you cannot afford one, so one is appointed, by default, public defenders end up seeing a very high volume of clients with severe mental illness, with intellectual disabilities, with severe addiction, because these are all things that would impact someone's economic capacity anyway. And so when they are justice involved, they tend to be appointed a public defender, and they need a highly informed clinical evaluation to then help inform the court through the defense attorney of what the actual treatment needs of the client are. Because as it stands right now, all due respect to attorney colleagues and judges, without forensic social workers being involved in that case resolution, at sentencing, you've got a room with 3 people that have a Juris Doctorate and probably an undergraduate in anything from English to engineering, and understanding exactly what is driving someone's criminal behavior, understanding exactly what their treatment needs are, is absent.
Laura Anvilin is a Justice Program Supervisor for the Weber County Sheriff's Office. She says they focus on the inmates' re-entry, and combined with social work prior to release, they have seen less inmates return to jail.
It was over 500 individuals that we had worked with. That 45% of them did not return within that subsequent year after that incarceration. and did not return to Weaver County Correctional Facility. And then in addition to that, we also compared the number of times they had been booked into our facility in the 1 year prior to engaging with our program compared to that 1 year following that program engagement. And we saw that even for those who maybe did come back within that 1 year period, it was at a significantly lower number of times, meaning they stayed out significantly longer and came back fewer times than what their pattern was showing in the 1 year leading up to engaging with our program.
Lancaster says the care plan could look like mental health or substance abuse treatment. It's 2:30 midday at KSL News Radio. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Thousands of Utahns planning to hit the skies and take to the roads. We are taking a look at delays. Lagoon is set to open tomorrow. We'll get a preview look with the Arrows, John Smith, and KSL traffic. Ricky?
A small crash on southbound I-15 in Draper, but out of traffic on the side. Maria?
It's 2:31 and now KSL's top local story. It will soon be illegal to require sexual assault survivors to take a polygraph test. KSL News Radio's Isabella Sosa has details.
Governor Spencer Cox has signed the use of polygraph amendments after the bill failed the Senate 2 legislative sessions in a row. Representative Angela Romero sponsored the bill after hearing the story of a survivor who goes by the pseudonym Andrew, who failed a polygraph test after accusing his therapist of sexual assault. The therapist was later convicted of felony charges after other victims stepped forward. Romero says the polygraph tests are unreliable because results are based on stress and not necessarily the truth.
The law goes into effect this May. Our top national story from ABC News. The White House continues to say that indirect talks are being held between Iran and the U.S.
Pakistan is now this mediator going back and forth for indirect talks because Iran, of course, continues to insist there are no negotiations right now with the United States. Iran, though, has rejected that plan and pushed back with its own proposals, saying that there needs to be an end right now to the attacks and also calling for repayments, reparations for the damages they've been inflicted over the course of the last 4 weeks.
ABC's Karen Travers reporting. Other national stories, the situation at airports continues to get worse as the ongoing partial government shutdown continues.
At one point on Thursday, security lines at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport stretched almost 5 hours long, and new numbers showed Thursday had the highest call-out rates for TSA officers yet. As they go longer without getting paid, more are calling out or just quitting the job altogether. Overall, almost 12% of TSA officers called out sick on Thursday. The highest was at Houston George Bush. 44% of TSA officers there called out sick on Thursday. JFK Airport in New York, 34% called out sick. Baltimore, 37%, 40% in Atlanta.
And taking a look at your money at this moment, a big drop for the markets today. The Dow was down by 793 points at the close. It ended at 45,166. S&P down by 108 points. The NASDAQ losing more than 2%, down 459 points. Traffic and weather brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big. UCCU, love where you bank. And here's Ricky Meese.
A small accident going from Draper to Bluffdale, southbound I-15, prior to 146 South. It's out of traffic on the shoulder, and then a disabled vehicle on southbound I-15. It's in Utah County near 2100 North Lehigh, also moved to the shoulder, and already some slower traffic setting in on southbound I-15, Murray and Midvale. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Headed into the upper 70s for the weekend with no chance of rain, but it looks like a chance of rain will come back on Tuesday of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, a 50% chance of showers. Right now, 61 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
This weekly tax tip is brought to you by the Utah Association of Certified Public Accountants. Here's CEO Susan Spears.
Here's what many people are getting wrong with their income taxes. Most of us fill out a W-4 once and never look at it again. In 2026, many taxpayers will see changes. There are new deductions for overtime and tip income plus other changes. If your withholding doesn't reflect those changes, one of two things can happen. You either give the IRS an interest-free loan all year, or you get hit with a surprise tax bill in filing season. If new deductions lower your tax bill by $3,000, but your withholding never changes, that's about $250 a month coming out of your paycheck that you actually didn't owe. The UACPA suggests that now's the time for a W-4 checkup.
Get the most out of your income tax preparation when you hire a licensed CPA. Visit uacpa.org to find a CPA that's right for you. And check out new tax tip videos by following on social media at Talk to Your CPA.
Only one type of burger. For every pallet. Fries are extra. Large in size. We've got the shakes. Going over the brim.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. Put a positive, delicious spin on your day at any one of our 5 locations. In Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, or Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Disney's Descendants, Zombies, and Camp Rock Worlds Collide Tour is coming. Celebrate hit songs from the movies, performed live, starring Malachi Barton, Liamani Segura, Dara Renee, Makana Knife, Hudson Stone, Sway Mbatia, Kiara Romero, and Alexandro Bird. More worlds will collide in a new, bigger show. October 14th at Delta Center. Get tickets now at worldscollidetour.com.
You were listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Thousands of additional flyers through Salt Lake City International Airport today as folks take to the skies for spring break. Those extra travelers, along with TSA worker shortages due to the partial government shutdown, creating extra delays.
I was hearing that was going to be long, but when we came in, it wasn't long at all. But now it's massive. We're cooked. We're not making this flight.
It is insane. I'm at the end of the line. It's a little crazy, but it's okay. It's moving quick. We'll be fine.
Oh, it's brutal out here. Got here 2 hours early, but I think we're going to make it.
Airport spokesperson Nancy Vollmer tells KSL a big reason for the issues today came from people who arrived early to try to avoid any potential delays. But in the end, it kind of basically contributed to delays. With many schools going on spring break next week, it's a good reminder that if you are heading out, whether on a plane or on the roads, you are bound to face a bit of delay. At one point this morning, flyers going through the airport faced security lines of up to 90 minutes long. Some travelers telling KSL they were a bit worried.
We're going back to Tampa, Florida, although I don't want to go yet.
Did you show up early thinking the lines? A couple of hours
Definitely. I retired from the airlines.
So you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's the TSA folks not getting paid. What do you think?
You know what? I wish I had $100 to give every one of them as a tip. I really do. These poor guys, they should get double pay. Let this be noted, they should get double pay when they get the retroactive.
Others said the lines were long, but things moved pretty quickly.
The line? Well, this one's moving pretty fast.
No, I figured this is about what it would be. So you know.
The website tells you it's 32 minutes, something like that, so it's
not bad.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
When you see it, you're like, damn, but they're doing a pretty good job, I think, of getting people through.
I think it's actually moving pretty quickly. We started like way over there, but we've been here for, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. So nothing too crazy.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Security lines are back to normal at the airport this afternoon, but KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera tells me there's still a lot of buzz and energy with all the extra travelers.
First of all, spring break is definitely here. You can feel it the second you walk into the main terminal. And it definitely hasn't been quiet at all over the past hour. There's been a constant flow of travelers rolling bags through here, families getting checked in and lines at TSA. But the big difference compared to this morning is the general screening line right now is staying contained inside the checkpoint, hasn't stretched back past the entrance like we saw earlier. I just checked in with a TSA agent here on scene right now. You're looking at about 15 to 20 minute wait for general screening and closer to 10 minutes if you've got pre-check or clear.
KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera there. He's out at the airport right now, and he will have travel updates throughout Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news. The airports aren't the only place you need to watch out for delays. Thousands of Utahns will also take to the highways around the state. UDOT says the biggest spots to watch are I-15 southbound from Spanish Fork to Nephi and from St. George to Cedar City from now until about 7 o'clock tonight. And you should also prepare for delays on U.S. Highway 6 heading east from Spanish Fork, with the biggest delays expected from 4 to 10 o'clock tonight. I spoke with UDOT's John Gleason to get the full rundown on how the roads could look over the weekend.
Well, we're expecting our roads to be incredibly busy, especially today, Friday, into the afternoon and evening hours. We're going to see traffic on I-15 really ramp up, especially from those areas around Nephi and then down in from Cedar City to St. George. That's going to be our main trouble spot. We could see delays of up to 45 minutes. And that's something that people are going to want to plan around, and that could last all evening long here. So if you have any flexibility today, travel later on this evening after the majority of the people have already cleared the roads, or if you wanted to take an extra day at home and leave tomorrow morning, you'd probably save yourself some of the headaches of being stuck in those backups as well.
Okay, I guess that means a lot of people are headed for St. George.
A lot of people are heading for St. George, Las Vegas, California, and that means everybody's heading south. Now, the exception to that is travel on US 6. We do expect to see some of those backups in Spanish Fork Canyon this afternoon and evening as well, as people are heading out to Moab. That's a very popular spot this time of year as well. But really, I think the takeaway is that all of our roads are going to be a little busier than normal. And so if you can avoid traveling during those times that everyone else is out on the road, that's probably your safest bet. But if you have to be out there, just remember to be a courteous driver. Give yourself some extra time to get to where you're going so you're not stressing, and always focus on the road. This is the time of year that a lot of people have things on their mind. If you're taking off from work, you're probably thinking about some of those things, family, and it makes sense to kind of put all of those thoughts to the side while you focus on the road ahead, just to make sure that you get to where you're going, because nothing else really matters if you can't get you and your family to where you're going safely.
Yeah, and pack your patience, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we want to make sure that people are being patient drivers out there on the road. Everybody else has the same idea that you do, and so if we can help others get to where they're going safely, they're going to do the same for us, and we'll all have a nice long weekend.
Okay, and then what about coming back? What should we avoid when we're coming back home?
Coming back, we didn't see as much of an issue on the way back, just because it's spread out a little bit. So we have a lot of schools that have this next week completely off, and families that are leaving for a week, but then others that may be just leaving for 4 or 5 days and coming back. So it's a little more spread out coming back. But one thing to watch out for next Friday, we could see similar issues out on our roads, because the other half of the schools are out for the next week. And so that's something to consider. And just the main thing to remember is just to give yourself some extra time out on the roads and make sure that you're paying full attention to the road, because with all those extra vehicles out there, there's more room for people to make unpredictable decisions. And so you always want to make sure that you're watching out not only for your own driving, but watching out for other people as well. And just focus on getting to where you're going safely.
And that is UDOT's John Gleason there. Tune in to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News from 3 to 7 today for traffic and weather updates every 10 minutes on the nines with Ricky Meese and Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center. They'll help you get home from work, and they'll keep you updated on potential delays as folks head out for spring break. As for Midday, we'll be back in just a moment.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Park City Mountain plans to debut a brand new gondola next year, but will also say goodbye to one of the most iconic lifts, the Cabriolet. John Cannelly from Park City Mountain here.
Park City Mountain is really excited next year to debut a new 10-passenger gondola that will take skiers and riders from the new Canyons Village parking structure up to the Canyons Village Forum and the greater mountain beyond. The 10-passenger gondola will get guests up the hill faster, more efficiently, and it'll provide some covered protection on those colder days. It will also have a mid-load station, which provides much better access to the which provides much better access to anyone staying in the mid-village to the rest of the village. So overall, the new gondola is going to connect the village much more smoothly, much more seamlessly when we debut it next season.
He tells KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott it's a bittersweet goodbye.
Yeah, we certainly recognize the legacy of the Cabriolet lift, and we appreciate that people have such fond memories of it, which is why we're giving it a little send-off on Sunday. We'll do donuts and a cash cab giveaway to have a little bit of fun with it, but ultimately, we're looking forward to the future of how we welcome guests to the Canyons Village base area, and the new 10-person gondola is really going to be an important step in making that experience world class.
Cannelly says the new gondola will be called the Canyons Village Skyway.
It is really part of a multi-year development plan for the Canyons Village base area. Next year, along with the new Canyons Village Skyway, we'll also have all of the levels of the new Canyons Village parking structure complete. And so it's going to be just an overall much better welcome experience for guests arriving at the Canyons Village base area. And in terms of the multi-year transformation of Canyons Village, this year we debuted the new Sunrise Gondola, which has already helped get guests up the hill faster, disperse crowds out of that base area so much quicker. And so a lot of very exciting things are happening at Canyons Village this season and next season.
The Cabriolet will take its final lap this Sunday. Lagoon opens this weekend. We'll get a preview of the new things coming to the park this season on our Cool Stuff in Utah segment. That's up next. But first is traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Ricky?
Marie, we have a crash that has closed southbound traffic on Van Winkle Expressway at 5600 South. It's a spot you just need to avoid. And early onset delays already southbound I-15. And these are not just in a small area. These slowdowns stretch southbound I-15 from 4500 South Murray all the way into Bluffdale. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Amanda, I've got a cruise planned in a couple of months, and I was thinking about the other people who may have cruises planned coming up a few months from now, and why right now would be the best time for them to begin their weight loss journey on Soda Weight Loss.
If you started right now, you could lose 20, 30, 40 pounds before June.
That's right.
I lost 37 pounds in 3 months, 3.5 years ago. And the beauty about soda is it's not a quick fix. This is learning that is going to last you the rest of your life and help you be healthy.
Your clothes fit better, your energy comes back, you don't get winded going upstairs.
Yeah.
Things that maybe you don't even realize. When I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, it felt like a transformation.
You learn what works for your body so you don't get addicted to shots or drugs. You just work with a nutritionist who's going to teach you how to keep the weight off for a lifetime.
Right now, you should go check out sodaweightloss.com, see all the thousands of before and after pictures, or speak with a nutritionist by giving a call 866-800-SODA.
Soda Weight Loss. Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say?
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse because you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
There are also a lot of sayings in the financial world, like, you'll pay lower taxes in retirement. But for many people, it's just not true. You may have done a great job saving in that 401k or IRA, but Uncle Sam is ready to grab a big portion of that money. The team at Galileo Wealth Management can help with strategies that you can start now to lower your tax bill in the future. More for you and less for Uncle Sam.
Or as they say, an apple a day is worth two in the bush.
Get the facts on your tax bill in retirement. Call Galileo Wealth today at 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online at GalileoWealth.com.
And remember, a stitch in time keeps the doctor away. Does, you know.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new, it's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace tucked away in a drawer, pieces full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jeweler specializes in reimagining family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Duke's on-site jewelers and designers work with you one-on-one to honor the original story while creating something fresh, modern, and uniquely yours. From resetting diamonds into new engagement rings to transforming multiple heirloom pieces into one stunning design. Every project is crafted with care, precision, and intention. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers on Main Street in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, where old stories become new treasures. dukesjewelers.com.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. It's finally the weekend, and Lagoon is opening for the season tomorrow. The Arrow's John Smith got to check out their newest ride for his Cool Stuff in Utah video series, didn't you, John?
Yes, I actually was fortunate enough to have been invited out to Lagoon yesterday to check out the new ride.
Due to all your shenanigans, I am kind of surprised they did invite you. I think this could be a very dangerous spot for you, but tell us about the new ride.
So the new ride, it's called the Nutcracker, and it's themed around, just like a nutcracker you'd see at Christmas. And it's, it fits in with the whole theming around the area that it is kind of the beer garden area that they have. Looks like an old German town, and it really fits the aesthetic. It's really well themed. It looks really cool. So the ride, it's 100 feet tall, 10 stories tall.
Whoa.
And you go swinging back and forth like you did on the jungle gyms back in the day. But you're going like more than 70 miles an hour.
Okay, that sounds terrifying.
You know what? I mean, you think about it, you're like,
show your age.
Oh, I'm in a
But it does sound
ride. It's kind of fun. But they sit you in these seats and you're harnessed in, but there's nothing to hold on to. And your feet are just kind of dangling there. And so they kind of swing you back and forth a little bit. And before you know it, you're 100 feet up and you're facing straight down and you go swinging towards the ground. And then you go straight back up again and you do it all over again, but backwards.
You didn't have to have any shenanigans here because you had enough interest in just what people are seeing from the ride.
Oh, my gosh.
Did they video you while you were on the ride?
It's so much fun. I don't have video of me on the ride.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yet. Because I wasn't able to hold anything, obviously, while you're there because you don't want to drop it. And we don't have the video of me on the ride posted yet. But we do have a cool stuff in Utah video posted that explores a lot of Lagoon's history, including the fact that the Monkees, the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, the Doors, the Beach Boys, have all performed in an area that you can actually still go into and look at. In fact, when you go into Lagoon and you find the Game Time Arcade, which is just off the side of the Midway Plaza there, you can still see the stage where the Rolling Stones, the Who, Jimi Hendrix would have all performed in what is now the Video Arcade.
Okay, my husband used to be in music radio, and he was the MC for a couple of those concerts.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you have any pictures? You should share those with me.
We didn't have phones way back then, so we didn't take pictures of every single thing. So, no, I don't think I have even one.
We're really lucky to have Lagoon here. And I don't mean to be a Lagoon fanboy here for a minute, but I am a huge theme park nut. I love Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. And to have a family-owned amusement park that gets new rides every single year right in our own backyard, like that is so cool, dude. It's so awesome.
So how would you compare it to Disneyland? Not as big, but just as fun?
Well, I mean, Disneyland's a theme park.
The lines aren't as long either, by the way.
Disneyland, it's a theme park. So it's an entirely different experience. The rides at Lagoon are thrill rides. You have Cannibal, you've got the new one, you've got Colossus, Roller Coaster. These are like thrill rides. And Disneyland is more of a theme park. You go for like the experience. You go to meet Mickey and have the bippity boppity boutique and see the shows. But Lagoon, right here on our own backyard, one of the oldest and largest family-owned theme parks in the United States.
And a new ride.
And they've got a new ride that is insane.
And people can see the new ride on your Cool Stuff in Utah videos?
Absolutely. And Lagoon opens this weekend. So they'll be open for business tomorrow and Sunday.
All right. Where do we find the videos?
On YouTube, on the KSL app, on the Arrow app, on the Arrow's Facebook page. Basically, just look for Cool Stuff in Utah on YouTube and it'll pop right up for you.
Thank you, John. And you can catch our weekly updates with John every Friday at the end of midday. Don't forget to join Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News for traffic and weather updates every 10 minutes on the 9s this afternoon. Ricky Meese, Eric Butler will be in the traffic center all afternoon to help you get home or to your spring break destination. And make sure you've downloaded the free KSL News Radio app for emergency traffic updates, too. Jeff Kaplan is here getting ready to take over, and You're going to have a very busy traffic afternoon.
Yeah, very busy it's already starting. Lots of people are heading south. We have the governor about to hold a news conference. We'll tell you about that in a moment. There's just a lot of moving parts today.
All right, join me and Ton tomorrow morning for the Greenhouse Show, and have a great weekend.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. We're at 63 in Salt Lake City. KSL's top story, Governor Cox is about to make what he's calling a major announcement about nuclear energy. He's out in the West Desert. There are chairs set up in, well, basically the middle of nowhere. The governor's going to speak in front of an oversized American flag backdrop with nothing but desert behind him. We don't know much more, except that the lieutenant governor and local Tooele leaders are there. We intend to carry his announcement live. It should begin within the next few minutes. So stay with us here at KSL News Radio. And as mentioned, spring break is underway, and it was off to a very slow start at Salt Lake Airport this morning. It took 2 hours to get through security. Airport officials are warning you'd better plan ahead. So let's check in with KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera, who's live at the airport. Eric?
Jeff, right now the line in for general screening is actually looking good and clear at the moment by baggage claim. Agents I spoke with said it's about a 15-minute wait in. If you've got pre-check or clear, that's about 5 minutes. It's still busy, though, with a steady stream of travelers all afternoon, but the key difference now, the line is staying inside the checkpoint and not spilling back into the terminal at the moment, and that's a big change from what we saw earlier today when lines went clear past the escalators into the rental car area.
We came prepared. So
yeah,
hopefully,
came early, so just in case the lines were nuts. But
it's brutal out here. I was like, oh, shoot, we might miss our flight. Got here 2 hours early. But I think we're going to make it.
Airport officials say that earlier rush wasn't a staffing issue. They think it was just a lot of people showing up extra early at the same time, trying to avoid those long lines. But bottom line, still give yourself that extra time. But right now, things are moving a lot more smoothly.